Hi, welcome to the channel, Michelle, and today I'm going to be doing a homeschool day in the life. So it is 7:30 on a Wednesday morning. So I got up in my normal 6 time. No, we're not going anywhere, but I always make lunches for my kids in the morning. That way they can have it when they're done with their work, because they always finish on separate times, and it's one less thing I have to do. So I'm going to start off by showing you their lunches. So if you're new to my channel, my youngest daughter has celiac disease, so everything is gluten-free. So they are having, some of them are having more snacky type lunch. So this is pepperoni and the hard salami and then cheese. They have some chips, they have some cucumbers and tomatoes from our garden, watermelon, mango. My oldest has, instead of chips, she has the cheesy poofs. These are the chips we do. Most of the Kettle brand are gluten-free. And then she wanted a sandwich with mayonnaise and cheese, so that's her only variation. And then the only change with my son is he's dairy sensitive, so this is the dairy-free, gluten-free cheese from Aldi. So lunches are made, so my next task is to load the dishwasher. My 10-year-old, one of her chores is to unload the dishwasher, which she already did. So now it's my turn to load all that up so we don't have dishes sitting throughout the day. Now our normal start time for homeschool is at 8:30. I start with my youngest, my 3.5-year-old. And then at 9 a.m. I start with my older two kids, my 10 and 6.5-year-old. So what am I going to do in this hour I have? One, I'm going to eat breakfast, made oatmeal. I'm going to do the dishes, load the dishwasher so they're not sitting there staring at me all day. And then I am going to put a load of laundry in. And then I have one specific chore that I try to focus on every day. And I will link above how I organize my cleaning and everything to make it easier to live within our homeschooling life as well. So my cleaning job today was to clean the fridge. So look for any expired food or push the stuff that's going to expire soon up front so I can see it. I also quickly wipe it up. I don't take everything out and wipe it, but I quick wipe because the kids are always in there, especially my 3.5-year-old, opening things. So they're sticky, like ketchup marks and things like that. I can wipe. I always wipe the handle on the outside real quick because, again, sticky children fingers everywhere. So I will do all those things really quick in that hour, and then I will start homeschool with my youngest. I'm currently in my dungeon basement, starting a load of dish towels. Anyone else think it's strange that nobody seems to have dungeon basements on social media, that they're always really pretty and renovated? Side note, but I wanted to show this because this is real. This is part of my routine. This is what I do. Domestic duties, the things I'm responsible for in the house, are interweaved into our homeschool schedule. So that's why I'm showing you kind of my chores weaved throughout this, because it's an important part of our schedule and it's part of our homeschool. Me taking care of the things I have to take care of before homeschooling, so there's less stress at me later. So when I'm done homeschooling and tired, I don't have a bunch of chores to do. So I'm gonna start this laundry, and then I have to take the dog for a walk. If you're wondering what my kids are doing right now, they've had breakfast. They again get up between 6 and 6:30 every day. They've had breakfast, they've gotten dressed, hair done, teeth brushed. They're currently playing outside. My husband is off this morning because he works late on Wednesday, so he goes in a couple hours later. So he's out with them in the backyard playing while I'm taking care of this stuff really quick. But they have a good probably hour and a half to play every morning before school starts, which I think is really helpful because it gets that energy out and they've had some fun and they're ready to sit down and start. And some people might think 8:39 is early to start, but when your kids get up at 6 a.m., it's not so early. So I'm going to get started with those things now. 8:45, so we're starting a little later than usual, but the dog took a while to get around the block. So I'm starting with my 3.5-year-old. We're going to go over the letters that we've gone through, and we'll do the sounds. We'll go over these are the sandpaper Montessori that I had with my oldest, so they've definitely lasted. We're gonna do our numbers. We'll go over this page. If he wants to draw or color them, he can. If not, then we will move to this folder, and I have everything in here sorted. As you can see here, this is everything he'll be doing. And this is what I just used for my oldest. I used it for my middle child, so everything's already organized and good to go. I will link above, my plans for my 3.5-year-old this year to see how that's working. But he's just gonna do some letter sorting. He's gonna do a dot page. And then he's gonna do some color umbrella matching. And then we will do the activity out of this book for math. What number is this?
I don't know.
1.
1.
Okay, what comes next?
2.
Okay, good job. What comes next?
I see B do. Okay.
What comes next?
3.
Okay, what comes after 3?
2.
4.
4.
4 goes that way. What comes after 4?
8.
5.
5.
5. Which activity do you want to do first?
This one.
That one? Okay.
This one. Hey, Mommy.
That is a little one. That's a lowercase u. Good job. Uh-oh, that one's in the wrong spot. He belongs with the uppercase u.
Hey, Mommy.
What is that one?
That one, B one.
Yep, so he goes with the uppercase. Do your puzzle or your marker?
Look, my mom.
All right, can you grab your marker over there? All right, we're gonna start the red. And we're gonna follow the numbers, okay? Can you do that? So clearly this is a little advanced for him now, but that's completely fine. If he just wants to color the picture, he can do that. What is this? That's an umbrella. Did you make a circle?
Hey, what on?
That's,
Oh no!
that's raindrops. Match the colors. That's green. Where's the other green umbrella? Where's the other part? Is that green?
Yeah.
No, that's yellow. Can you find green? Let's see, does it match? We did it! We got a green umbrella, all right?
And that one.
Yellow.
Yeah, Mommy.
Okay, what color are you gonna do next?
Yeah.
Pink, good job. The last thing we have is the calendar, so I'm gonna do that. He's gonna put the number Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Good job. All right, we're gonna do our song. He's gonna put that in. So it is a little after 9, so we spent about 20 minutes doing preschool. We just finished our calendar. I'm gonna have my husband do the activity with him for this. It's just using pennies and stuffed animals and making a pretend store. But since it's after 9, I want to start with my older two. So on Wednesdays and Fridays, he does help out with them, whether it be preschool or helping my older kids. So he's going to do that activity, and that'll be it for him for preschool for the day. And like I said, we usually only do maybe 20-25 minutes a day. So what I'm going to start doing now is I'm going to grab from the top shelf here the stuff my kids need. I will lay out all of their work for them. Again, I have them in separate rooms. It works easier for everybody. So my 10-year-old will work on the same couch I was with my 3.5-year-old, and my 6.5-year-old will be in the other room. But my 10-year-old can do a lot of independent work, and I'll show you their schedules really quick. So as you can see, right next to calendar is my girl schedules. This is my 10-year-old, this is my 6.5-year-old. So if they ever have questions on what they will be doing, this is where it's located. So I just set up my 10-year-old. She has her word letters, her handwriting practice. We will go over the textbook lesson in this. She's on the last chapter, I believe, of this. We're finishing it up, and then she will do the textbook independently, and then she is fully capable of doing doing lightning literature by herself. So she will do the grammar lesson and the reading, and she'll answer those questions, and then she'll put it on my desk to be corrected today. So all of this independent This math she'll need my help with, but other than that, she knows what to do. I set up my 6.5-year-old stuff, so her handwriting without tears. She's doing her test, her end of the 1A test, and then we have some reading to do and all about reading too. So my 10-year-old is getting started. It's about 9:20, so we're about 20 minutes later than we usually start, but again, we're flexible. It's completely fine. They had a lot to clean out. They had a lot to clean up outside. Same time, my 6.5-year-old is starting her handwriting. Again, this is all independently. When she's done with that, we will start math. So like I said, we were just doing the end of the entire book review. So I read the questions to her. So how many circles are there? How many triangles are there? And how many rectangles are there? How many circles are there?
2.
Okay.
Please write that in.
Oh, let's look at our chart. How many triangles are there?
1, 2.
Okay, 2. Good job with that too. All right, now we're looking at rectangles. How many rectangles do you see?
There's not 2 circles. There's
Do you see more now?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 circles.
Good observation.
Because there's circles on his eyes and 2 circles for his button.
Yeah.
2 plus 2 is 4. And 2 plus 4 is 10. I mean 6.
Good. All right, we got rectangles left.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Very good. And here's your chart if you need help with the 4. Very good. Last page, all right? There are 11 flowers in a vase. 5 of the flowers are red. The rest are white. How many white flowers are in the vase? So how are we going to figure this out?
5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I need to do this on paper. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 5, 6. 5 and 6.
So you're right, there are 6 white flowers. But we need to fill out our equation. I appreciate that you did that in your head, but we got to fill it out.
11.
Okay. Are we adding flowers or taking flowers away?
Adding?
Did we add to the 11?
Oh, we're taking it away. Boop.
Okay, how many? Look at our problem. How many red flowers did we have?
5,
And you already know the answer, right?
6. Hey, 5, 6.
Oh, you got your sheet if you need it.
Make a full
All right. So I just corrected this. And again, she didn't do this entire part today. As you can see, I broke it up into sections just so it wasn't overwhelming. So I think she did this within 2 days. But she had 52 out of 60, so she missed 3, which tells me that she understood what we went through. Next, we're going to go into reading, but she's asked that I don't film that, which I completely respect. So we're going to read a couple pages out of here and finish up the rest of language arts. It's 9:48. Looks like my daughter has finished her language arts. She's finished her handwriting. She's finished her word letters. Now we're getting ready for math. She's doing a practice lesson, so there's no new instructions. So she said she's fine to try this independently. So she'll be doing the textbook and the workbook independently. And again, I will cut down some of the problems if I think it's too much, but she's going to give that a try. I'm going to go read with my 6.5-year-old. All right, it is 10:20 and we just got done with reading, and I am clearly outside. I made myself some tea. It's actually very chilly. Oh, chilly. It's like, I don't know, 65 degrees. It's cooler this morning. And reading was a struggle. And obviously, I'm not going to show that on camera. And my 6-year-old had the foresight to know that it was going to be a struggle. And it's not the curriculum. She was recently diagnosed with ADHD, and it's a struggle. The biggest problem she has is the ability to focus. And if she is capable of focusing, she often loses her spot when she's reading. And we have different things she can use to kind of mark where she is. We've talked about different strategies. But whatever I give her to keep her spot, she ends up fidgeting with, which is pretty typical for, her. And she'll often just get distracted. And it's really hard because then she gets frustrated because she loses her spot. And she gets overwhelmed because she doesn't know where she is. So the focus thing is really hard. And then losing the spot thing is really hard. So if you have suggestions for either of those, let me know in the comments below. I'd really appreciate it. Because again, once she's able to focus and know where she is, her reading is completely fine. But getting her to focus and continually read a sentence is really hard for her. So that's something we're working on. And after that, I needed to step away, a break, because it's really frustrating on my part too, because I don't know how to help her. I don't know how her brain works, and that's something I'm working on learning about. And again, she has an appointment to see a specialist, which hopefully that will help too. But for now, I'm doing the best I can. But it's really, really frustrating to me too, because I see her frustration. I know what she's capable of, but there's an obstacle to get there, and I don't know how to help her get over that obstacle. So I am outside on our backyard on our picnic table. I'm going to have my tea and my snack. Chocolate is my friend. It always loves me back. So I need to step away and take a few minutes and breathe. My 10-year-old needed help with doing area, so length times width, on one of her math problems. So I asked my husband to step in because he's very mathematically minded naturally. And so I can have this breather. And that's not always honestly possible. He works a lot. So sometimes I'll just, for example, instead of finishing language arts with my 6.5-year-old, and I said, go have lunch, wash up, have lunch. You need a break, I need a break. And you might think, wow, isn't 10:30 really early for lunch? When my kids are up at 6, it's not early for lunch. They'll have a snack later in the afternoon too. So, we usually eat lunch somewhere between 10:30 and 11 every day. So that's normal. So they're taking a break, eating lunch. My 10-year-old's working with my husband right now, and I'm trying to just decompress and recenter myself. But if my husband's not home, again, I'll just have them have lunch, which is why it's great to have that lunch already prepared, is I don't have to be frustrated in the middle of the kitchen with them, screaming and doing their normal stuff. I have this time to just chill for 10 minutes, regroup before we go into the second half of the school day. So after lunch, we will do, my daughter has to do her my 10-year-old has to do her IEW. She'll do that independently. She has to watch the second half of the video and do whatever the assignment is. I will do the second part of language arts, which is core knowledge 2nd grade, with my 6.5-year-old. She's doing the listening and learning strand. Again, that's just reading through a story and maybe an activity. My 3.5-year-old is done for the day, and he's been done for a while, so he will usually go upstairs. Sometimes he naps, sometimes he doesn't. I ask that he play in his room, or if he wants to look at books, that's fine too, but having some more separate time, and it doesn't always work that way, but it is nice when it happens, because the second half of the day is more intensive work, I would say, for us. So not having him running around screaming is helpful. So I will see if he'll take a nap. If he doesn't, then he'll just have quiet time in his room for like an hour, or play, or whatever he wants to do out there, while we get the second half of the day. Because after language arts is finished, we still have our group work, and our group work for Monday, or our group work for Wednesday is history, and we have social justice today, and my daughter still has to practice piano. So that's the rest of the agenda. All right, it is 11:30, so I'm starting core knowledge 2nd grade language arts, listening and learning with my 6.5-year-old. So all the kids have had lunch. My 3.5-year-old, I took him upstairs. I think he's napping. That is the saving grace for today. So my husband got called into work. If you're new here, my husband's a pastor. One of the members of our church was hospitalized, so he didn't get a chance to help my daughter. He had to go into work. So I had to help her after she finished lunch. I had to help her with the area perimeter question she had with her math. She's doing the beginning levels of geometry in dimensions. And I have to say, dimensions really does some upper level thinking math, which I really appreciate, but it definitely takes some time to understand it and convey it to my children. So I had to kind of revisit that and relearn it for myself and then help her with the problem. So it's definitely been a day of some struggles and frustrations, but that's okay. We're moving on. And I don't mean we ignore it. I mean, we deal with the emotions, we talk about it, we work through it, take breaks when necessary, but we don't just stop. Like, the day isn't over just because somebody's having a bad day. We get through it, we address the emotions, we address what's going on, and we continue our day, because I feel like that's life, right? Like, you need to learn to manage your emotions, your feelings, and we're at that age where it's just a lot of feelings and emotions going on. So, like I said, my oldest is in the other room using the TV to do IEW. She's watching the second part of the video and doing the assignment. Does that all independently, doesn't need me. But I'm going to do core knowledge with my second grader, and I just put up a video, and I'll link it above, how we used first grade last year, and it walks you through all that, so that's pretty simple. But just like that video, I have the teacher guide here. We're doing 3B, which is filling out some stuff. So we're learning about early Indian civilization, early Chinese. Again, she dictates this to me and I write it. And then we are specifically learning about Hinduism and Buddhism and filling out this sheet, which I really like that core knowledge brings in different cultures, different religious beliefs, things like that. And we do have some image cards that go along with that as well. So this will only take a little bit of time to go through while my oldest finishes IEW. Alright, I just finished with my 6.5-year-old. Again, it probably took like 10 minutes, so that was really quick. We just talked about Hinduism and the different beliefs and the gods and things like gods and goddesses. So that was interesting. I always enjoy learning about different cultures and religious beliefs. So next, we are waiting for my daughter to finish her IEW, and then we'll move on to history and social justice. So it is noon and we're getting into group work. So we are doing social justice today, and we are using Mint and Bloom, Power of the People. And this is the book that goes for it. So we are on letter E, and that is for Earth First. So I just have the whole thing on my Samsung tablet. So we will read the pages, we'll do the activities. And again, I've already printed out all the activities and they are in here. I do that with my 6 weeks on, 1 week off weekly prep. And we will watch a short clip documentary that goes with it and have some discussion. So as I read, my youngest, she likes to do the coloring pages, the spotlight on the person that we're discussing. But so far this has been going really well, and we've been enjoying this unit a lot.
The redwoods predate our existence on this planet by 135 million years. Today, what's left of them can be found on a narrow...
It's 12:30. We just finished our documentary clip, and this is what they did. My 6.5-year-old chose the tree protester costume for her activity, so she drew herself as a tree. That would be her costume, to show people to stop cutting them down. My 10-year-old chose the tiny tree house. So there was a woman who spent 2 years living in a tree so they wouldn't cut it down. So the activity was, if you were living in a tree, what would you have? And these are the things she designed. Of course, she also had her dog with her, but all the supplies she would need and the essentials and her bed and things like that. So she designed her own little mini tree house. Next, we're going to move on to history. So we've been really enjoying this so far. We are on week 5. So we are on day 3 here. So we're going to read a chapter in here. We finished our read aloud book because we had a long drive. So we listened to the audiobook version of this. The Game of Silence was an awesome book. I highly recommend it. It's in the Birch Bark House series. We've already done the discussion questions. I just make a little note when I do them. So we're going to read the chapter in Stamped, and we're going to be watching this little clip as well. But that is all we will have for history today. It is 12:50. We have finished everything. All group work is done. Last thing is my 10-year-old needs to practice piano, and she's just doing Hoffman Academy online, and all she has to do today is practice a song that she's been working on.
Woodpecker tap, tap, 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 looking for a bone.
So during history and read aloud and all that, my 6.5-year-old really likes to color, and she wanted to share some of the pictures she's been working on. But this is what she occupies herself with. She has a big notebook that she just does a bunch of coloring with. So it's almost 1. We are done with school today. I think we probably spent 2 hours total, but again, we had some struggles today. So I have this big pile of stuff from my daughter that I have to go through, just her Lightning and Lit language arts, and then I have to correct her paper for IEW that she wrote and make sure that's good to go, so she can do corrections tomorrow. But we are completely done, and that's what a typical Wednesday looks for us. We will be going to the park in a couple hours to meet up with friends, but that's a day of our homeschooling. If you have any questions, leave in the comments below. If not, thank you for watching.